In the NBA, Patrick Beverley's famous for speaking his mind and not caring if it gets him in hot water. Chris Paul was the new target in Beverley's line of sight, and his commentary got him a lot of backlash yet again. What did he expect going after the one and only CP3? Let's search into the source of these comments to properly see where he was coming from. First up, how the beef between the athletes started. We must remember that Beverley and Paul's rivalry dates back many years, even before the NBA. During the regular season, Beverley appeared on Reddick's podcast, The Old Man and the Three, and detailed how the beef began from his perspective. He claimed that people simply don't understand Chris, and that what Paul and he have been doing started all the way back in their high school days. Beverley went on to explain that when you're watching from the outside, you won't be able to grasp exactly what the story is. He also expressed that he and Paul know the story of their rivalry all too well. He started off by shedding some light on what that story actually was, finally revealing where this bitter rivalry originated from. He said that when the two were in college, they were invited to a LeBron James camp, which was this huge place sponsored by Nike. Chris Paul happened to be there too, and that the two of them had clashed on the court, where Beverley claims he destroyed Paul humiliatingly. After that time, Beverley noticed Paul in the NBA, and those emotions just naturally carried forward into the league. This was quite an eye-opening comment for fans who had been curious about the rivalry's origins for quite some time now. Next, we have the morning show appearance. In a morning show appearance to be fondly remembered, Patrick Beverley utterly destroyed Chris Paul. The star didn't hold back one bit. After Paul and the Suns were blown out of the water with a major and highly devastating upset of 123-90, the whispers began, and Paul's character and ability as a player came into question. This loss came at the hands of the Mavericks in Game 7 of their Western Conference playoff series. The Timberwolves guard appeared on ESPN's Get Up and First Take to weigh in on the NBA himself and his opinions on what's been going on. Beverley didn't mince words when he stated that the veteran point guard just can't guard like he used to, and that he isn't the only player in the league who believes this about Paul. He claimed that the people have been talking about this for quite some time, and that he's only delivering the same news that everyone else knows. A bold claim by Beverley, acting like an innocent bystander, simply delivering a message. This approach backfired very publicly for the star, as he was called out by prominent figures in the NBA and sports community for speaking such bad taste. Beverley went on to even say that Paul shouldn't have been allowed to continue playing and should have been benched instead of the others. And now, for Beverley's next appearance. Following his morning show appearance on Get Up, Beverley appeared on ESPN's First Take with the same charisma. The guy made it a point to be heard. He noted that he spoke to the Clippers forward player Paul George the previous night and confirmed his assumptions. What assumptions are those exactly? That nobody's scared of Paul and his team anymore. That they barely qualify as competition at this point with such a lackluster performance they're putting on. Beverley went on to say that he also thinks that Paul, who turned 37 on May 6, is no longer one of the all-time great point guards anymore. After the terrible game that landed the athlete at the end of this criticism, Paul stated that he has no plans to retire. There are rumors brewing, however, that Paul's suffering with a mysterious quad injury in the postseason, according to Mark J. Spears of Anscape. Paul's quad was not listed on the Suns' injury report, and he played 32.4 minutes per game throughout the series despite it. Well, everybody keeps talking about how bad the Suns lost and how Paul had a role to play. But how bad did CP3 really end up doing on the court? In the major loss, Paul had only 10 points and 4 assists. The point guard didn't score his first basket until the third quarter, by which time the Mavericks had already taken control of the game. Throughout the game, Phoenix was never in the lead. Why is this particularly surprising? Because Paul was considered to be one of the most dynamic and explosive point guards in the league. The whole point of having a point guard on your team is so that he can help the team out and lead them to victory by making the clutch plays needed to win. Beverley's comments have left many divided on each side of the fence, with some actually taking his side even if his comments were poorly worded. After taking a look at Paul's stats on the board, there may just be some truth to his words after all. Up next, Beverley gets criticized. Former NBA player Matt Barnes aptly responded to Beverley for his comments regarding Paul, claiming that they were needlessly harsh and critical, as well as bordering on utter disrespect. Beverley, who never got the opportunity to play in the NBA Finals or even make the All-Star team, wasn't exactly in a position to make such comments to a potential Hall of Fame player, according to Barnes. Barnes made a very clear distinction on ESPN's NBA Today and claimed that there's a fine line between criticism and disrespect. He believed that Pat Beverley's treatment of Chris Paul was totally rude and completely out of line. He also added that Pat Beverley is acting like the man of the hour, the one who's the most important, that man. But simply put by Barnes, Beverley just isn't that man which he thinks he is. Now, in other news, Nikola Jokic's second consecutive MVP. Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets has been once again named the NBA's most valuable player for the second straight season, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. According to reports, an official announcement will be coming very soon, so fans have that to look forward to. Jokic's performance has been nothing short of amazing too, pulling raw numbers that were even better this season than the previous one, averaging 27.1 13.1 points and 13.8 rebounds per game, both career highs. He also successfully ranked in 8th place overall in the league with a decent 7.9 assists per game. Jokic, 27, also reached a personal milestone and made literal NBA history by being the first player to record 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists all in a single season. The guy is no joke and definitely making a name for himself. It's stars like Jokic that seem to be pushing themselves to be recorded in the history books of the NBA. Because point guard Jamal Murray missed the entire season due to a ruptured ACL, and Michael Porter Jr. was limited to just 9 games due to a back issue, the Denver center did it all alone, which we have to recognize as a feat in its own league. Despite the setback Jokic faced, the Nuggets were able to qualify for the playoffs as the West's 6th seed before falling to the Golden State Warriors in the first round in 5 games. New NBA hardware. The NBA postseason trophies have already received a pretty big changeup before they get a chance to be lifted high up in the air by the new champions. The league held a surprise reveal and unveiled a set of 6 reinvented trophies, each of which had been given a facelift of its own. The Larry O'Brien Trophy, which is given to the NBA champion, has been given a roundish update that is even more starkly indicative of an actual basketball itself. One notable feature is the installation of Conference Final MVP trophies, which will be named after Magic Johnson for the Western Conference and Larry Bird for the Eastern Conference, both of them being players who are credited with elevating the league's popularity in the early 1980s. Those trophies are quite similar to the conference champion trophies in that they also lift a sterling silver ball. The Larry O'Brien Trophy's overall size, shape, and weight have not been altered too considerably, although there have been some minor changes. The major modification is the base of the trophy itself, which now rests on a pair of circular stacks instead of the conventional square foundation. The names of the first 75 NBA champions are listed on the top disc to pay homage to their great performances. Each NBA champion's name will be carved on the bottom disc of each new trophy beginning this year, making sure that each team receives a unique championship trophy displaying their name in all their pride and glory. A great gesture from the league, letting players get further bragging rights upon becoming champions. It's truly the little changes that go the longest way. The disc is confirmed to actually be large enough to fit the next 25 NBA champions in the run-up to the league's 100th anniversary season, which is just further evidence of its excellent new design. The modifications really seem to be focused on the historical significance of the NBA and just how far the league has come from its inception many years ago. That's a wrap for this video. How did you feel about Chris Paul's recent performance? Do you feel that there was any truth to Beverley's savage comments against the athlete? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this. We'll see you in the next one.